Hello, it's Alan here from Man at YouTube with another modelling video, having a look at a request. During my last vlog, member ihong56789 requested that I do a video covering how to enter competitions and get a bit of an advantage in them through the eyes of a competitor and judge. I found the current climate in our community quite appropriate to answer this question. I've been meaning to do a video on competitions for a while now, though I've been waiting until I can get sufficient experience and understanding to do it, since competitions is a fairly difficult subject to touch on, as most of the time local ones can be quite controversial or biased, and online ones can favour a particular manufacturer or a sponsorship deal. But I won't dwell too heavily in that in this one. First, we have the Mecha Arts Community Forum Mecha Contest 2012. This competition is going to be running over 6 months from the 1st of January. A shout out to Cam on YouTube for promoting and administrating this event. I believe this competition will be fantastic for our community, and I highly recommend entering for the development of your own skills and for a good time. We also have the Hobby Link Japan Sci-Fi Modelling Competition 2012. It's already started on the 5th of December and will run out to about 3 months until deadline. I do not have any affiliation with the two groups running these competitions, though I feel that this is definitely a good thing for our community. They're offering substantial prizes, and it's going to be drawing out a fair amount of talent from community forums and of course us on YouTube. Now, there's a few tricks you can get around when entering these competitions to give yourself a more of an advantage against other competitors. There's two major things I always personally look out for when I'm entering in an online competition. Is first, you study the rules. They will release quite a substantial list of rules and what they require. Sometimes, because it's a promotional thing for a business, they're going to want you not to post your work on other parts of the internet, so you may be tempted to do a work in progress on your channel or forum, but they will stop you from doing that until you enter your kit in the contest. And to boot it further, they may even want to keep the likeliness and the image of your figures under their copyrights. So if you're a bit proud of your work, this may be a problem for you. Other things to look at in rules, such as themes or requirements. Some competitions may work to a very particular style of modelling. They only want you to do Gundam, or they might open out to general mecha. Others might be science fiction, and you might jump in, but they may be a bit biased against mecha. So reading a good list of the rules, you'll get categories, and categories are normally always divided between a beginner, a middle ground, and an advanced level. And they may name it under different ways, such as out-of-the-box category. This normally translates to the pieces you have in the box you build as is, without any further upgrades, modifications or changes to the kit. You build it to how the instructions require you. And some of the very elitist, or such as the IPMS rules in the real life, may want you to only paint it according to the painting guide and decal it according to what said object is like in the real world. They sort of don't let you custom paint, but normally in the mecha community, custom painting and decals are okay. Other categories may be modified enhanced, so this will let you build your base kit, and they'll want you to change the base kit into something of your own personal design. So this is building little knickknacks, or pulling apart multiple kits and putting it back together. What they normally really dislike is if, let's say, you buy 3 high grades and you build the high grades and you pull them apart by their polycaps and rearrange the parts. This is not modifying or custom model work. They normally require you to cut and glue and go a bit further and create something that other people will not necessarily easily reproduce. And another one which normally only people who've been around the community or the modelling scene for many years, unless one of these freak guys that get good very quickly, is a scratch building or an advanced category. They normally require you to have a diorama or a large bulk of the model scratch builds, or such amount of eye for detail work done in all aspects of building a model, such as the building, the finish, the painting stage, and the overall design and look has to complement each other and create something that's quite astounding and fantastic. And you'll normally go up against other people of equal or greater levels and normally show out who's the best in putting their abilities together. If you're normally up to that level, you normally already have a strong understanding of competitions and the politics behind it. Another hint with studying the rules, you may sometimes get an opportunity in a forum or given a link or comment box the opportunity to ask questions of the administrators and judges. Make sure to take advantage of that and ask as many questions you do have on your chest that you are going to put into this model to see if it is appropriate for the competition. And if they give you negative responses such as no, or it's more suited for another category, make sure you heed their advice and do as they say. They may give you a lot more help than you anticipate in trying to get further in the competition, so make sure to take advantage of that. Another bit of advice, after a competition, if you haven't quite won, and with the rule part being able to contact the judges and community, it is good to ask in a most humbling way as you possibly can the judges a critique of your model, why you didn't win and what you could have done to improve. They will give you constructive criticism and tell you where in your model or skill set that you need to do for the next year or other competitions you do enter. That's the second thing that's vital to taking advantage of, unless you have a strong understanding of your own weaknesses and strengths. Now, you're at the stage of building and painting your model, and these are some other hints that will get you ahead. Sometimes for your own enjoyment you will cut corners, such as when you're cutting nubs on, you might dig in deep into the plastic, leaving a scar mark and not putting it up, or sufficiently filling seam lines, or leaving rough patches on your kit while painting. All of these will heavily go against you in competitions and judging, as the number one thing judges do look at when they're studying the models is mistakes and flaws. So if you're working on an older kit and it has a lot of seam lines, you need to cover that, and if they resplit, recover again. If you do a sloppy job of painting or finish, that will be the reason why you'll lose the competition. So you need to put extra attention in the basic elements of building the model, covering all the bases of when removing gates, flash marks, whatever, that you do it sufficiently enough that the surface is absolutely clean, filling seam lines to the point where all elements of the kit looks like one piece and the machine is actually what the machine is meant to be, and more model-like than toy-like. And when you're finishing, you're not over-weathering or over-painting in a way where, or leaving brush strokes on the paint finish that it does look like the machine it is and not a model, and trying to build a atmosphere around this kit. So pay very close attention to your workmanship and try not to get sloppy. This will get you that one extra inch closer to being in the run of being one of the winners in this competition. Another thing a judge always looks at in the build is the complexity. If you build a newish, very flashy master grade, just peg it and spray it and leaving it finished, to oppose someone modifying a kit or building and bashing an old kit to such a standard. They normally may be favoured in winning due to the workmanship and time they've invested in the build. this is another thing to look out for. If this is a scratch building or modifying category, and if you're one of these guys that buy all those Kotobukiya aftermarket parts like so, and just cutting and gluing them on random places on a kit to make it look more detailed, or someone who gets styrene sheet or pla plate and carefully cutting them out and creating their own detail from their imagination, the guys who go to the more effort with the styrene or engraving their own panel lines or even scratch building with putty, they will always be favoured over someone who just keeps adding aftermarket parts. With dioramas, if you're one of these guys that again buy these pre-built diorama packs, or one of those Kotobukiya chain connecting bases and just painting it as is to someone who does scratch build a hangar or dirt fields, they will always be favoured. So always try to take the harder route to building a kit than the easy route, as there is more effort involved, but the judges will always respect that. So that's my first hint, is studying the instructions as much as you possibly can, making sure your build fits in the instructions. Sometimes you may need to read between the lines in how they do write the instructions, but some competitions are unfortunate to have very, very little rules, such as the Bakuks, where you got, no bootleg, build it yourself, out of the box, custom in advance, and that's all written on the piece of paper, and you sort of need to interpret what they want. And this is in our second hint, how you can get around it, and that's to explore the community where this competition is based around, and this requires a little bit of research. I'll give an example with the current Mecha Contest 2012 on the Mac forum, and they don't make a secret that they know what they want you to build, and they are biased to that style of building. Now, the best way to get around it is you go on the said forum community. They normally have a number of photo galleries of finished models or whatnot, or a YouTube channel with many videos. You study the threads of finished models and work in progress models on these forums or whatnot, and you find the forums that are got a lot of feedback complimenting a model, something that's very popular, very well built. This will give you an idea of what they find as a favourable or a very well built model that would be a good example in winning these competitions. It could be built by a judge, or it could be liked by a judge. So have a look at how these models are built. They may be clean builds with very advanced scratch building and paint work. They may be models that do a lot of decaling, maybe something with lots of panel lines or a certain style. Others may be very into weathering. So have a very strong look and detailed look in the community. Dive in and have a look at how they do like their models being built, and also have a read of the discussions or listen to the opinions of the builders and the people in the community. This should get you, as the people in the community also entering in the competition, this should give you the same advantage as they do. Now, a lot of you people watching this video, this may be your first time in a competition, or you might have been around some of these smaller competitions online like the Too Old for Toys ones, and you may really want to win, or you got an eye on a prize or something, or you might have an ulterior motive to entering competitions to promote your outlet of a forum, YouTube channel, or portfolio of work, which is entering competitions is fantastic for that if you do build something that's eye-catching enough to attract people. When entering these competitions, you may not win straight away, even if there is a beginner category and you may have been around longer than the other beginners. Sometimes someone just comes out of nowhere that is freakily well skilled and just clear out the joints. You don't know the people out there who do build models and don't regularly contribute to online communities, so you sort of need to have a sportsmanship thing about these competitions. If you don't win, even though you put many months into building a kit and you're discouraged by not getting a prize, you did try your best and you would have given the judges a lot of trouble choosing a winner. So have pride that you've done your best, and you may have been shortlisted to be a winner but fell short. This also gives you a chance to study the models that do win and try to build yourself up and work better to next year. If you're the type of personality that if you don't win and straight away start attacking the judge or the community of why didn't I win, this model was better, you'll never improve and grow, and the future competitions you will not take out. You need to have an open mind about these sort of things. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to talk about the very sad part of competitions, and no way in the mean I'm going to be implying this on the Hobby Link Japan or Mecha Arts community, because the people there are quite good and they're going to be open and they're about attracting good work. But this is mostly looking at smaller communities or even real-life small community model clubs running competitions, or the IPMS body of larger competitions across America, Europe and even here. There may be a very bias biasm to how they judge the models and who they place winners. Sometime with these said communities, it's all about stroking their own egos. So sometimes judges will be able to enter categories or other categories and judge each other's work within the community, and invite people outside the community to compete but favour each other's work and make each other win. Unfortunately, this does happen. It can be absolutely devastating to the rest of the community. So if this does happen, again, try to be a sport about it. Pointing it out will just make yourself look like a bad loser even more. Now, making a model to stand out in a competition, there's going to be a lot of models, and there's a lot of ways people that are popular to build a model or a certain colour scheme or idea. There's a lot of common ideas out there. When you're building this model, you want to do something that's very unique and very different to everybody else to stand out and just capture the judge's attention. And the best way to do that is play with your advantages. Don't try to do something that's within the community to make the community happy if you're not skilled in that section. If you're amazing at diorama building, try to put more emphasis into that. Or if scratch building is your parte and not painting, focus on that. Or if painting is your strongest suit, maybe a few mods and put most of your effort in that. Obviously, over the years, when you try to develop yourself as a modeler, if you are planning to be a competition modeler, even if you do have a very favourite aspect of the hobby that you practice in to make your models special and stand out, it's still good to practice the other aspects to build yourself up and be as flexible as possible around these competitions. If you are entering these competitions for fun and just building whatever, not caring if you win, lose or draw, that's perfectly acceptable, and sort of being an individual and standing out, like, I don't care about your competition, I'm entering, work your way around me. That is perfectly cool, and honestly an approach I normally take to the reason why I haven't been winning a lot of competitions lately. Now, the number one and most important aspect of competitions, and the best hint I can give you the viewers, that again, this is all a hobby. No matter how much controversy, politics, whatever goes through these competitions, we're all out there to have fun, network, meet other amazing modelers and make friends with them. Again, if you have an outlet like a YouTube channel or a profile, website, portfolio, it's a great way to get your name out there, but never take it seriously. Have fun. If you do win, pat yourself on the back. If you don't win, keep working towards a goal until you reach that level of the hobby where you are able to be proud of yourself. Just have absolute fun, work with what you have to have, and just build something that makes you very happy and very pleased. I apologise, this video has been a bit ranty. I hope you guys have picked out the main points in entering these competitions. Again, the two most important aspects you are looking out for is studying the rules and making sure you do abide by them, reading between the lines and fulfilling all the requirements of the judging, or you will lose short of winning the first prize, and studying the communities and seeing the style of building they do and having fun. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I look forward to seeing you guys in these HLJ and Mecha Arts community competitions. I will be entering as well, and I look forward to competing with all of you. I do sincerely hope a lot of you, my viewers and subscribers, also do enter. It's a great way of growing our community. Catch you later.